Today, I'm going to show you how modal verbs really work in everyday English so you can stop memorizing random rules and start using them naturally in real life. We will talk about permission, ability, advice, obligation, possibility, willingness, polite requests, and future meaning in a way that feels clear, practical, and easy to remember. Let's begin. If you are serious about improving your English, subscribe to Daily English, like this video, and comment the word modal below so I know you're learning with me. Now, before we jump into each modal verb, let's understand the big idea. Modal verbs are helper verbs. They do not stand alone. They work with another verb to express meaning. That meaning can be ability, possibility, advice, necessity, permission, or prediction. In simple words, modal verbs help you show what you mean, not just what happened. For example, I can swim. You should rest. He must go. They might arrive late. We will meet tomorrow. Would you like some tea? Each of these sentences carries a different feeling, and that feeling is exactly what modal verbs control. One important rule is this. Modal verbs are followed by the base form of the verb. You say, she can go. He must leave. They should wait.
Not.
She can goes. He must leave. They should waiting. That rule is simple, but it is powerful. Once you understand it, many grammar mistakes disappear. Let's start with can. Can is one of the most common modal verbs in English. It is used for ability, possibility, permission, and informal requests. For ability, I can speak 2 languages. She can solve difficult problems. They can finish the work quickly. For permission, can I sit here? Can we leave early? Can I use your phone for a minute? For possibility,
It can get very cold in the mountains.
this road can be busy in the evening. For requests, can you help me carry this bag? Can you open a window? Now here is a useful fluency tip. In natural spoken English, can often sound softer than learners expect. When people ask politely, they do not always sound demanding. The tone matters as much as the grammar.
Compare these. Can you help me?
Could you help me? Would you mind helping me? All 3 are correct, but the feeling is different. Can is direct but still common and natural.
Could is more polite.
Would you mind is even softer. That brings us to could. Could has several important uses. It can show past ability, polite requests, possibility, and suggestion. For past ability, when I was a child, I could run very fast. She could memorize long poems easily. For polite requests, could you please repeat that? Could I borrow your notebook? For possibility, it could rain later. This could be the right answer. For suggestion, we could take the train. You could ask your teacher for feedback. Now, let's go deeper. Could is often more polite than can, but it is not always more formal. In everyday conversation, people use it because it sounds respectful and natural. If you want to sound thoughtful and calm, could is a very useful word. Here is a useful contrast. Can you send me the file? Could you send me the file? Both are fine, but could feels gentler. Now, let's move to may. May is used for permission and possibility, but it often sounds more formal or careful than can. For permission, may I come in? You may leave when you finish. For possibility, it may rain tonight. She may know the answer. In modern English, may is often used when the speaker wants to sound polite, serious, or a little more formal. For example, may I ask a question? This may be true. Now a subtle point. In everyday spoken English, can is more common for permission, while may is often more formal or written. So if you are speaking naturally with friends, can is usually the more common choice. But if you want to sound respectful, may is a valuable word to know. Next is might. Might is used for weaker possibility, uncertainty, and sometimes suggestion. For possibility, we might go to Addis Ababa next month. She might call you later. It might snow tonight. For suggestion, you might want to check the schedule again.
He might need more time.
Might tells the listener that something is possible, but not certain. It is more uncertain than may in many situations, though in real conversation the difference can be subtle. Here is a practical way to think about it. May equals possible. Might equals may be possible, but less certain. For example, she may be at home. She might be at home. The second sentence usually feels a little less confident. Now, let's talk about should. Should is used for advice, expectation, and recommendation. For advice, you should drink more water. He should talk to his manager. We should be careful. For expectation, the bus should arrive soon. This package should reach you tomorrow. For recommendation, you should watch that documentary. You should try the local coffee shop near the station. Should is one of the most useful modals for everyday guidance. If you are helping a friend, giving polite advice, or sharing a practical opinion, should is a very natural choice. But here is an advanced point many learners miss. Should does not mean must. It is softer than must. It suggests good advice, not strict obligation.
Compare.
You should study tonight. You must study tonight. The first sounds like advice. The second sounds like a strong rule or requirement. Now, let's talk about must. Must shows strong necessity, obligation, or logical certainty. For necessity, you must wear a seatbelt. We must submit the form today. Students must bring their ID cards. For strong advice or recommendation, you must try this restaurant. You must see that movie. For logical deduction, she must be tired after such a long trip. He must be the new teacher. This last use is especially interesting. Must can show that you are almost certain about something based on evidence. For example, the lights are on, so someone must be home. He is speaking very confidently, so he must know the topic well. Now, a very important note. In modern English, must often sounds strong and serious. It can feel strict. That is why in many situations, people prefer should, have to, or need to when they want softer meaning. For example, you must finish this now. You have to finish this now. You should finish this soon. All three are different in tone. Now, let's move to will. Will is used for future actions, decisions made at the moment of speaking, promises, offers, and predictions. For future, I will call you tomorrow. She will start her new job next week. They will travel in August. For instant decisions, I'm festy. I'll get some water. The phone is ringing. I'll answer it. For promises, I will always support you.
We will do our best.
For predictions, it will probably rain later. This year will be busy. Will is one of the simplest looking modals, but it is very powerful. It helps you talk about the future, but also your intention, your commitment, and your willingness. Now, let's talk about would. Would is one of the most flexible modal verbs in English. It is used for polite requests, hypothetical situations, past habits, and reported speech. For polite requests, would you like some coffee? Would you help me with this? For hypothetical situations, if I had more time, I would learn another language. If she lived closer, she would visit more often. For past habits, when we were children, we would play outside for hours. Every summer, my grandfather would tell us stories in the evening. For a reported speech, he said he would come later. She promised she would call back. Would is very important because it helps you sound more natural, polite, and reflective. It is also one of the key modals in conditional sentences. Here is a simple contrast. If I were rich, I would travel the world. If I am rich, I will travel the world. The first is hypothetical. The second is more direct and future-oriented. Now, let's compare a few modals side by side. Can and could. Can is more direct. Could is more polite or less certain. May and might. May shows possibility or permission. Might shows weaker possibility. Should and must. Should gives advice. Must shows strong obligation or certainty. Will and would. Will is future, promise, or instant decision. Would is polite, hypothetical, or past habit. These differences matter because English is not only about grammar. It is about choosing the exact shade of meaning you want. Now, let's talk about some common mistakes learners make. Mistake 1. Adding to after modals. Wrong. She can to swim. Correct. She can swim. Wrong. You must go. Correct. You must go. Mistake 2. Changing the verb after a modal. Wrong. He should goes home. Correct. He should go home. Mistake 3. Using the wrong modal for the tone. If you want polite request could often sounds better than can. If you want strong obligation, must is stronger than should. If you want a soft suggestion, might or could can be useful. Mistake 4. Confusing possibility with certainty.
May and might do not mean the same as will.
Will is much more certain. May and might leave room for doubt. Now let me give you a real-life story. Imagine a student named Daniel in Kampala preparing for an important interview. He says, "I can speak clearly, but I might feel nervous tomorrow. I should practice my answers tonight. I must wake up early. If I get enough rest, I will perform better. And if I had more time, I would rehearse with a friend." That one short story shows how modal verbs work in real life. They do not just express grammar. They express thoughts, pressure, plans, hope, and confidence. Now let's go beyond the basics with some advanced fluency tips. First, learn modals with fixed chunks, not just isolated meanings.
Say,
"Can I help you? Could you please repeat that? You should try it. You must be tired. I will see you tomorrow. Would you like to join us?" Second, pay attention to tone. The same modal can sound very different depending on context. "Can you open the window?" may sound casual. "Could you open the window?" sounds more polite. "Would you mind opening the window?" sounds even softer. Third, notice what native speakers do in fast speech. Modals often blend into the next word. I would become I'd. I will become I'll. You would becomes you'd. He will becomes he'll. They will becomes they'll. Learning these reductions will help your listening and make your speaking sound more natural. Fourth, do not translate every modal word by word from your first language. Instead, think about the function. Ask yourself, is this ability? Is it advice? Is it possibility? Is it permission? Is it a promise? Is it hypothetical? That question will guide you better than memorizing long rules. Now, let's do a quick practical review. Can, ability, permission, request. Could, past ability, polite request, possibility, suggestion.
may,
Permission, possibility, formal tone.
might,
Weaker possibility, uncertainty, suggestion. Should. Advice, expectation, recommendation. Must. Strong obligation, necessity, logical certainty.
will,
Future, promise, decision, prediction. Would. Polite request, hypothetical situation, past habit, reported speech. If you remember those core meanings, you will understand most modal verb conversations in English. Now here is one final challenge for your brain. Say these sentences aloud if you can. I can improve. I could learn faster with practice. I may need more time. I might try again tomorrow. I should stay consistent. I must not give up. I will keep going. I would choose progress over perfection. These sentences are not just grammar exercises. They're a mindset, because language learning is not only about knowing words. It is about becoming the kind of person who keeps learning even when it feels difficult. So if English has ever felt confusing, remember this. Every time you master one small grammar system, your confidence grows. Modal verbs may seem tiny, but they carry a huge amount of meaning. And once they become natural to you, your English will sound more accurate, more expressive, and more human. If this lesson helped you, please like the video, subscribe to Daily English, and comment your own sentence using one of these modal verbs. I read your comments and I love seeing your progress. Keep practicing. Keep listening.
keep speaking.
And remember, fluency is not built in one day. It is built one strong sentence at a time. I'll see you in the next lesson.